Hey everybody, so I'm just doing a quick video today on some of the trees that I've been working on. It's been interesting. These are 2/3 of the trees that I've got for, and I've got them spread out here because I'm kind of doing different things to them, different stages of the making process. So I'll just stay here for a moment. Sorry I don't have my tripod today, so I hope this isn't too shaky. But essentially, I've been using the Woodland Scenic kits, and now what I've done is I've painted the brown trees gray, and then did a light dry brush of gray as well. So I've seen this done, and it was kind of counterintuitive for me. You know, you'd think brown would be fine, that's the way they make them, but actually they kind of do look better gray, like a dark gray and then painted gray, light gray. And so I don't know if that's because these are deciduous trees or what, but I do think they look better. And so that didn't really take too long to basically make the armature. You bend it around and then paint them all up. Then I ended up getting a Woodland Scenics kit that actually has 3 different kinds of flock. So sort of like a dark bluish green, I would say a medium green that's a little closer, and then a light green, which really does stand out. You might be able to notice it right there. Like, this is the dark green, those are the medium greens, and those are the lighter greens. This, I followed the Woodland Scenics recipe where you're supposed to use what they call hobby tack, and you put it on your armature, and it's white, and it's supposed to go kind of like a clear. And then what you do is wait just like 15 minutes. You just shove the stuff on, either dip the armature into a big thing of the foliage, or you just place it on yourself anyhow. And then they don't really tell you when, but there's a lot, and they don't tell you this, but a lot of people advise that you use scenic cement, like spray some water lightly on them and then do a scenic cement and dribble it on to make it a little tougher, so it can be handled a bit more. You know, it's a little, so it doesn't all fall off, or even that it's just not going to get damaged easily. So it's been an interesting process. As you can see, there's just some little fluffies here, and this is after me kind of doing a bit of a cleanup too. This stuff drops off really easily, I've found. You know, it doesn't stick all over the hobby tack really easily. I found that if you use the scenic cement and water a little too soon after putting on the hobby tack, that it also makes the foliage come off faster, because if you look on the hobby tack bottle, it actually does say that it's water soluble, and so it shouldn't be a surprise that if you're immersing hobby tack with your spraying water a little bit, misting it, and then putting on scenic cement, which I think, I'd have to look at it, it's got to have a lot of water in it, that it would make it come off. And so I've actually kind of went through the process where I did this once, would kind of, unfortunately I put them all together in a thing, and then all the different colors start sticking onto each other. That's a bit of a chore. But then after doing it once, I would kind of put them on the table, and big pieces would be falling off, and I'd be like spot applying hobby tack and then kind of going through the process to a minor extent again. So it's been tough. I mean, I have no doubt that the majority of the foliage is going to stay on. Where I've noticed that it comes off a lot of times is on the tips of the branches, and I'm just concerned that it's just gonna look like a crappy tree. You know, like it'll just, like right now I think these look good. Like I'm happy with these because I've just kind of done my application again, and I do think they look realistic, to be honest. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I bought these, is when looking around I really did feel they look realistic. These are the 5 to 7 inch, or no, these are the 3 to 5 inch, and then I also have a bag that's still to do of 5 to 7 inch. Those actually look really good with 28 mil, like to have those in there too. I actually think these do as well. I don't have one in front of me right now, but if you know, 28 mil is going to come up to about there. And so you've got a good sized tree, and if you imagine the ones that are even bigger, gosh, here, you know, if he's there, you know, I've got some that are like that big as well. So they're gonna look good. I am gonna make plates. I don't know how I'm gonna store them yet, but basically I'm gonna fix these bases with glue to a base going to use MDF. I'm planning on using MDF, and then I'm planning on using some foam for rocks and things, and for irregularities in the levelness of the ground. And then I'm planning on using latex caulking with, and then before it, like all over the base, and then before having it dry, using sand as sort of a texture, you know, and just throwing sand on top of that caulking. From there I'll paint it. So that's sort of going to be the plan. I'll likely have anywhere between 6 and 10 tree bases between these and then the larger trees that I haven't done yet. And so yeah, you know, I'll just show a couple. Like here's one that I just sort of did a little bit of patchwork to. You might be able to see some white hobby tack if you look close in a couple spots, or not. I might have just covered it, but you know, they're good looking. I'm just worried that they're always going to be slightly sticky, because this hobby tack stuff, from what I can tell, it doesn't seem to really ever dry. Like, and so, like if you stick your finger in there, you might get like a bit of a feel of a stickiness on there. I really like the light color for some reason. I really do find that it looks good. And I do think that what I would advise, and people could disagree with me that I'm more experienced, but just having gone through this once, is that if you like these trees and you're going to shoot for this process too, and I believe these are the same exact trees that Architects of War use, the Woodland Scenic kit, and they recommend this process too. If you're going to use these, I recommend after putting this stuff on with the hobby tack, letting it, even though it never dries, let it dry as much as possible before misting it and using that scenic cement. That somebody correct me, somebody out there, if you know different, or if you have a better tip or whatever, because that's just my experience so far. But one thing that is cool though is that you know, like particularly when you group them together like that, these do give you a foresty look. And like this is just a kitchen table here, and it's probably 3 foot by 5 foot. And I don't have all my trees, but you could group them together, and it gives you, like, I already feel like I've got a good amount of trees going on for Muskets and Tomahawks, so should be good. So yeah, next up I'm sorry that I haven't put any videos up in a little bit. Actually going through a little bit of a job transition, so I've had a lot of decision making to do lately, and I don't know if you guys ever have that where you just don't really have mental space for anything but what you've got on your mind, and so I haven't really been doing much modeling other than these here and there. And so I am going away for a week this weekend, starting this weekend, so I won't really be putting up any videos over the next week either. But when I get back, what I will be doing is starting the Muskets and Tomahawks minis that I have. I'll be getting the plates going for these. I'm looking at doing a model plane for bolt action, and I've got some Infinity minis I'm going to be working on. And also, in Her Majesty's name, I'm still working on that little sculpture piece as I go along with the guy with the top hat. That's sort of the Chancellor's elite group that I'm doing. So yeah, hope everybody's summer continues to go well, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.